Hello, how are you today? I'm so glad to be here with you as I announce the launch of another book. Very exciting. The book is called Completely. It is book three in the I Belong to You series. The author, Phoenix Rising, she's such an amazing individual. This book, it kind of caught me by surprise. I have to tell you the truth. I've done books in pretty much, I would guess, just about any genre you can think of, and this one does happen to be a very adult book. Fair warning to those of you that get it. However, like I said, the book really caught me by surprise because there is a journey that the heroine in this book takes that is amazing. It is startling. It is mind blowing, and it becomes a a goal. I think even as a man, the place that this book takes you is something that is not what you might think when you first start into it, and it's very interesting. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about loving completely today. Hi, my name is Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, an international best-selling author of multiple books, and I help people write, publish, and market their books to bestseller. What I really help you do is find your voice. It was so nice the other day. My good friend Cheryl Rich, we've been working on her book, and she was like, for the first time ever, I discovered my voice. I hear me on paper. Oh man, I love that kind of stuff. I love helping people be able to bring the wonderfulness that is them out to the world. It's such an honor and a blessing. I often tell people when I'm, in discovery session sales calls that, I would probably, because it's such a ministry for me, I would probably do, do what I do for free, but I have bills to pay, right? And more importantly to me is the contractors that I use. I want them to take good care of their kids, not just live on rice and beans, but really have good lives. And I know that good people do more good. They can make a bigger impact in the world when they have more to be able to do with that. So it's a real honor and privilege to bring this and all the other books that I bring to you. So let's talk a little bit about this book. So completely. Now I don't want to ruin it for you. And just by the way, in case you don't discover it, the link is here in the description, and I'll post it again in the comments. I wonder if it'll let me do that. I wonder if it'll let me do that right now. Let me actually do that real quick right here while we're talking so that if you want to get a copy of it, you absolutely can. If you don't see it there in the description. Okay, so there's there's the link to it as well. So, and I'm not going to give it away to you, but you can actually get book one and book two in the 3-book series. You can get all of them for free today. So you can really get some books today and read this whole series. They're all short reads. This last one in ebook form is about 44 pages. In print, it's going to be 100. I think it's actually going to be 101 pages by the time it's fully formatted. Lonnie, thank you for getting the book. Lonnie's been on part of this journey with me. She knows. Yeah, it was in the notes for the description as well. So just a little bit, just teasers about book one and book two. So in book one, our author takes our heroine. Her name is referred to as Little One in the book. She's never given a name. It's really pretty cool. And she is going to meet a person for the very first time. It's a man that she feels like she's deeply in love with, but she's not sure. And ends up discovering being treated in a way that most women only dream of. That's about all I'm going to tell you in that book. And there are some very graphic depictions, but it's the things that don't happen that are more important in that book. And then in book two, our author, Phoenix Rising, she takes us from, okay, but then what's the reality of belonging? That's book two's title. So book one is called I Belong to You. Book two, the reality of belonging. We go back into her regular life. Now that you've found this thing you want, how do you live a day-to-day life? What does that look like? And so now we're into book three. All right. And in book three, I invite you to go on that journey, because the place that this wonderful young woman has moved to now is something that will catch you by surprise. You will be like, interesting. I didn't know that, that was where the book was going to go. And like I said, there is some graphic nature. Now, Phoenix Rising is the name of the author. It's her pen name. And she's a little bit anonymous in this because, it's a step that she's not really to take. Scintillating insinuations. Oh, that's sexy. Thank you, Lonnie. So, but we want to really support and encourage this young author as she really steps out in a way that, is extremely vulnerable to write that kind of stuff and then to show that kind of a journey. I can tell you from the standpoint of a man, the man that's in this story is the man that I, as a man at least, aspire to be, to really truly love someone, because we started yesterday and we're going to talk. And of course, today's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. To really truly be a man, not a lust-driven little boy that only wants for his own, but that truly puts another's wants, wishes, and needs in front of himself always. As a man, I can tell you that, it's deeply inspiring to be able to see the things that he does and wants to do, and more so the things that he's not willing to do. It's really important. And to me, I think it's the ultimate Valentine's Day present for whether you're in a relationship and you'd both like to be like, hey, what could be deeper? Or if if you're not in a relationship and you want to have some aspirations, yes, fiction love stories are based in real hopes, dreams, and soul callings. I agree, Lonnie. That's absolutely true. And so I invite you to get your copy of the book today. The link is in the description, as well as I just posted it there. And now I want to talk a little bit about loving completely. I mean, what does that really look like? We read 1 Corinthians chapter 13. You've probably, even if you're not a Christian, you probably heard it at a wedding or something before. Love is patient, love is kind, love is long suffering, that kind of thing. And we kind of turned it on its ear a little bit, and took it a little bit deeper, because to really truly love somebody, and I loved that part in there where, paraphrased, it's saying, love takes no account of wrongdoing. It doesn't keep score. Love wants always the best for the other person and takes no delight in evil happening to them. I don't know about you, but I aspire to that kind of lovingness. And yes, in a romantic relationship, but just in life in general, to show love to each other. Og Mandino, in his book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, one of the chapters, the phrase is, I will greet this day with love in my heart. How will I greet the morning? I will look at it and I will say to it, I love you. And to each person that I meet, I will silently say under my breath, I love you. Imagine if in every in every situation where you meet a person, I, that is technically a confrontation, but I didn't want to bring up that the negative imagery that comes around that word. If every time you came up to or near somebody, the first thought in your head was, I love you. If we sent, and you know, I mean, we could use all kinds of words for it, emotional energy, the vibes, whatever. If we sent love out to the people that are around us, and we can do that even right now. I mean, you know, COVID, right? We're all locked in our houses. We can permeate love out into the world, sitting right here where we are in front of our computers right now. Maybe like me, you're home alone right now. We can still send out love to our neighbors, to the people in our community, and yes, even to our country and our whole world. We can do that. We can choose to do that. We can be love in the world. To love someone, to truly, truly love someone, is to be willing to do, and I have to be really careful with this phrase because some people are going to take it wrong, but to do what's best for them. Now, it's real easy for us to fall into the trap of us deciding what's best for them. But it's really about getting to know them well enough that they, more than anything, will tell you, but that you know what is their best. You know the kind of things that hurt them, and you're willing to not, if that makes sense. You're willing to do the things that you can do to ensure that that person isn't hurt by you. To put yourself in such a way that you are honoring someone else with all that you do and in all that you say. That's giving love away. That's being love in this world. And yes, of course, to a spouse or a person that's your significant other, I mean, absolutely. And you want to get to that level of intimacy that has nothing to do with physical contact, but has to do with being inside of each other's hearts, minds, and souls so completely that you absolutely want and are willing to put in the effort to discover what is their best and release all need for anything else other than being the wind beneath their wings to help them reach the lofty height that they're meant to soar in. All too often, we spend too much time. I'm guilty of it. I'm sure all of us have. We spend too much time building our own kingdom. And sometimes, unfortunately, it comes at the expense of the people that we would never intentionally hurt. We can look back in retrospect and say, oh, if only I would have. Now, don't fall into the judgment place and start into a shame spiral over the things you did. Again, guilty as charged. But rather, use it as an inspiration to aspire to be a person that rises above that, to be more than that, to be love and to share love into the world. I hope wherever you are relationally that you can be that love in the world. And yeah, sure, I hope for you that you can find somebody whose very heart and soul you hold softly in your hands and they yours. Because that's the key. Love is a two-way street. When you permeate love out into the world, love will be coming back to you. That's not to say that some people still won't be grumpy. Some people still won't be unloving. No, that's still going to happen. People have bad days. Some people are just jerks. I mean, I wish it weren't true. I wish I could save you from it, but it's the truth, right? Some people, and maybe it's the choice they've intentionally made, maybe it's abuses that have happened to them. I don't know. We don't need to judge them. We can even honor and love and respect them in that worst place that they're in. That doesn't mean that we approve of their actions, but simply that we stay in the place of being love in this world. And to the grumpiest of person, to the people who treat us the worst, we send only love, acceptance, and forgiveness their way. We talked a little bit about the forgiveness yesterday. There are some people that have done some very unforgivable things. Remember, I help people write books. I've heard some intensely horrendous stories, things that just in the hearing, you almost want to take a shower and wash them out of your soul and your brain, if that was possible. But in those circumstances, even in the worst of them, the forgiveness comes in not because that person that injured you in the deepest, most hurtful sort of a way, not because they maybe even will ever say they're sorry, let alone that they'll ever even feel sorrow over it. They may feel completely justified in it. It's not about them. Forgiveness is for me. I choose to forgive and release because when I hold something in, it's a clog in my spiritual arteries, if you will. Much worse than high blood pressure or any of those kind of things is when your spirit is clogged up and happiness and light and life can't flow through you because of the things that you hold on to. Yes, I know it was horrible. I've had some of those things in my own life too. And I know the way that our brains work, that it's not just I forgive them and ooh, all peace and roses and you never have any feelings about it. It doesn't work that way. I wish it was. It's a process. And you may find yourself 10 years from now just angry, so upset over something that you've forgiven and released to the person for, but something triggered you. And you're right back in that moment of absolute anger at that person. That's okay. You can forgive and release them. You can let that flow continue on. That emotion comes. There's no such thing as a negative emotion. All of our emotions were given to us for a reason. That includes anger, rage, even violence, the emotional end of violence. Those are all given for a very specific reason and purpose. It's when we don't allow an emotion to flow through, to exist, happen, and then move out and be back to the place where we're love in the world. It's a choice. Again, judgment-free zone. If that's not a place you want to choose to be, okay. I love you anyway. See, I choose this day to love. I choose today to be the day to show love to you, to send love out into the whole of the world, to breathe. And with each exhalation, to send out waves of love into our universe. We need it. That's where the differences are made in life. It's not from all the evil that people can do. It's from love. Love is what changes the world. I hope that you will get the book. It's an amazing book series. I hope you'll get all three of them, actually. But I hope that in the acquiring of the book and the reading it and through all of the things that this wonderful, amazing author did, that you will really see love and that you will find that you already have or the aspiration to have a love that is yours completely, to show up completely as love in the world, to be that thing that only you can be in this world. Send out the loving vibrations of you out into the world and make the difference that only you can make. And that hopefully, if that's the plan for you in life, that you'll have a partner that you can do that with too. I hope today finds you happy, safe, warm, and oh so loved. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope it really is. Even if you're by yourself, be your own Valentine. Buy yourself a Valentine's card, flowers, candy, a fruit bouquet, whatever, and show yourself the kind of love that you deserve. Have a great, happy Valentine's Day. Send out your loving vibrations across the world and be completely complete as you. Thank you in advance for getting the book, for being who you are, for doing all of those things that only you can do. Until we're together again next time, I hope that you have an amazingly great week.